Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin explains exactly who will be the Steelers' starting quarterback next season. So, there's been a lot of questions, a lot of rumors up in the air saying, hey, Russell Wilson's a starter, but maybe, just maybe, if he plays bad during training camp, Justin Fields will take that spot, and that job is really up in the air, and it's not just a done deal that Russell Wilson is starter. Well, Mike Tomlin says differently. At the NFL owners meeting, he basically says that Russell Wilson will be the starter next season. So, before I get more into that, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you get notified with everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. And also like the video. Let's get right back into it. So, there was an owners and kind of NFL meeting with head coaches and everything like that on Sunday. And over there, Mike Tomlin, he spoke to the media. And he was asked questions about the Pittsburgh Steelers offseason moves, and one of them being the quarterback position. As we all know, they signed Russell Wilson, and then like a week later, they traded for quarterback Justin Fields of the Bears, while also trading away Kenny Pickett. So the question is Russell Wilson going to be the starter from day one, or does Justin Fields have a chance to win the starting job? Well, Mike Tomlin, he says this about it. Here's the quote. We've been very transparent about the pecking order, at least to start. I just think that provides clarity for all parties involved. Russell is a veteran. Man, he's got a proven process of readiness. He's been in this league a long time, and he's capable of rallying troops, receivers, tight ends, and running back. He just got a lot of experience in terms of what it takes over a 12-month calendar year. I just think that that's something that a younger guy like Justin can learn from, and it provides clarity for all parties involved as they do some of the informal things at this time of year. You know, whether it's coming together to work out in destinations and things of that nature, rest assured when it's time to compete, Justin will given an opportunity to compete and will allow those guys to sort themselves out. But I thought it was appropriate to describe it in a way for when we get started. Russell's in pole position, and I think his body of work justifies that. And just from my conversations with Justin, he's excited about working alongside Russell and learning some of those veteran tricks of the trade from behind a guy who has been around for over a decade. End quote. So, just from that quote alone, he basically said the pecking order right now, from day one, it'll be given to Russell Wilson. And he's already explained that to the team. He already explained it to the quarterbacks. They already explained it to Justin Fields. So they already know Russell Wilson will be the starter. But obviously, competition is key. So obviously, Justin Fields will be given competition. He'll be able to play in training camp, given the second team reps, and just compete at a high level. Because that's what you expect. But obviously, Russell Wilson will be the starter from Mike Tomlin's words, and he describes it as a veteran thing because he's been in the league a long time, because he's seen it all, he's basically done it all. He won a Super Bowl, and he just played at a very high level. And at this point in the year, I guess that's what you need. The Steelers really have a young team when you think about it. From the running back, from wide receivers, they don't really have that much experience. So when you have a guy and you bring in Justin Fields, he's also a young guy. So yes, he could take it from day one. Don't get me wrong. I would like to see him be the starter. But obviously you bring in Russell Wilson, and he's the veteran on the team, especially on the offense. The veteran of the offense, and like Mike Tomlin said, he's going to rally the troops. And the wide receiver position, running back, tight end, every young player on the team has at least that quarterback now to look up to. Kind of like how they had Big Ben because of Big Ben's experience in this league. Now they have Russell Wilson. So that could be good for a team and good for a guy like George Pickens to learn from a veteran in Russell Wilson. So I kind of understand why Mike Tomlin is saying in terms of the pecking order and talking about his leadership and veteran and readiness. But also in that quote, you hear Mike Tomlin say, for now, meaning that obviously Tomlin, he expressed his excitement in seeing Justin Fields work as well, and they are intrigued by his skill set and what he could bring to the team, and kind of the conversations between Fields and Tomlin looks like it's been promising thus far, and when looking at the trajectory of both players in terms of Russell Wilson, what he could currently do, and what Justin Fields could do for this team long term, obviously you can see how that pans out. And Mike Tomlin says as of right now, Russell Wilson is starter from day one. But obviously things could change, how we just saw that with Mitchell Trubisky and then Kenny Pickett taking over in the fourth game of the season against the Jets. So things could change quickly if things don't start off well. But as of right now, heading into the off season, heading into workouts like that, training camp, from day one, Russell Wilson will be the starter. But that's also expected. I didn't expect Justin Fields to come in and be the starter. I expected to be Russell Wilson. So this was an obvious thing, but kind of all the rumors, all the reports, some insiders were saying it's actually kind of up in the air. It's not a done deal that Russell Wilson was going to be the day one starter and Justin Fields could come in and win the job. Well, Mike Tomlin puts those rumors and reports to rest and says Russell Wilson is the guy. Looking at Russell Wilson and what he was able to do for the Denver Broncos last season, statistically, Wilson had a rebound year in 2023 after a first rough season start with the Denver Broncos in 2022. Last year, Wilson started 15 games for the Broncos, completing 297 of 447 passes, which is 66.4% completion percentage, for 3,070 yards. He also added 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions for a 98.0 passer rating and a 6.04 adjusted net yards per attempt. So Wilson, he was actually benched later on towards the end of the season, mainly because he did not want to restructure his contract and the team wanted to prove a point with him, but he did not budge from restructuring his contract. He did not give up his guarantees, so he just allowed himself to be benched and then moved on after the season. So Denver, in just 2 seasons, they removed from trading Russell Wilson. They cut him. Obviously, they gave up a lot to get Russell Wilson, but that just did not pan out, and it's best for both parties. They just move on and go in different directions. And the Steelers were able to pick up a Super Bowl champion and a 9-time Pro Bowler in Russell Wilson. He posted 84.4 passer rating in 2022, so he was able to rebound from that in 2023, because in that 2022 season, that was his lowest mark of his career. So he was also sacked 55 times. So he's always a highly sacked quarterback. So that's something that Pittsburgh Steelers will have to adjust to. He holds the ball a long time in his throws, so the Pittsburgh Steelers give up a lot of pressures and things of that. So hopefully that is not a big deal heading into the season. But looking at Justin Fields and his stats as well from last season, you look at Fields and he put up 192 of 318 passing for 2,242 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, an 85.2 quarterback rating, and 4.63 adjusted net yards per attempt. So the 24-year-old is a great quarterback in terms of what he could do on the football field using his legs. His passing isn't the only thing that stands out. He has a big arm, but he mostly is utilized best when he's able to get out the pocket and scramble. So even though he's been in a situation in Chicago where it wasn't the best, now coming in, maybe sitting behind Russell Wilson, he'll able to see the field and not have to be in a tough situation right away. So that may be better for him, being able to learn behind a veteran. Also, looking at Justin Fields and looking at his touchdowns, and even Russell Wilson's touchdowns. If you remember, Steelers quarterbacks, they put up 13 last season. So both those guys, they basically almost doubled the production of touchdowns alone, with Justin Fields having rushing touchdowns and passing touchdowns, kind of overlapping and kind of extending and doubling what the Steelers quarterbacks were able to do. And Russell Wilson alone doubled it himself in just passing touchdowns. So hopefully that's a big boost to the Steelers offense, and touchdowns alone were a struggle for the Steelers, especially passing. So hopefully these quarterbacks, whoever ends up playing, whether that be Russell Wilson or later on Justin Fields, the production is able to go up. But Russell Wilson looks like he's the guy, as Mike Tomlin has stated and explained. But either way, the Steelers quarterback room has upgraded and upgraded a lot. Able to get back a 3rd-round pick, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and only give up Kenny Pickett, that seems like and a 4th-round pick, that seems like a good deal to me. They've increased and upgraded the talent on their roster at the quarterback spot, and hopefully it pans out really well, and there's no more frustration and breakdowns in the offense next season, and they're actually able to utilize all the talent that they have. because the talent they have at the wide receiver position, tight end, and running back is high. So hopefully that's able to be utilized with these new guys on the roster. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on Mike Tomlin kind of saying that Russell Wilson is hands down the starter week 1. And let me know your thoughts on that. Do you believe it should have been a competition? It should not be just handed to Russell Wilson. Justin Fields should actually have an opportunity. Or do you like the idea of Russell Wilson being the week 1 starter? It was expected, but let me know your thoughts. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on notifications and get updated with everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, whether it be this or just free agency signings and introductions to new players. Also, it is draft season, and tomorrow I'll be releasing my second mock draft of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So make sure you get in tune for that. But until next time, the next news, I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.